Yes. What if everyone said it just a little more? Would the world be a better place? A nicer place? At MU Health, we're certain of one thing, that yes makes the world a healthier place. Yes is the strength to fight doubt, the fuel to find cures, and the unbreakable resolve to keep pushing further. At Mid-Missouri's only academic health center, yes isn't just changing lives, it's saving them.
Good morning and welcome to Radio Friends on Wednesday, July 20th. I've got Mark Walter with us today from Renew, Missouri. And we all like to think that we are taking good care of the environment, or at least most of us like to think that we're taking care of the environment. Yeah. Today we're going to talk about how to be a good, clean energy advocate.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now, what is a good clean energy advocate?
Well, I mean, from my perspective, there's no such thing as a bad clean energy advocate as long as you're working for the cause. And that's what my organization does. We're a nonprofit, and all we work on is energy advocacy, clean energy advocacy, whether it's renewable energy or energy efficiency or what have you. Mm-hmm. But one of the ways that we do that is by helping people get more involved in the cause. So, we've done polling, and we know that most of the people listening to this show are actual supporters of clean energy, and we'd love to figure out ways to get them, more involved, more plugged in, and get the changes that we need here in this state to make us a clean state.
Okay, would you say that one of the biggest polluters is the automobile?
When you look at where most of our pollution, specifically greenhouse gases, comes from in the United States.
Burning coal.
It's from burning coal.
And that's producing electricity.
Absolutely. Coal and natural gas produce an awful lot of greenhouse gas emissions. And that's why you heard about in the past couple of years, the Obama administration came out with their Clean Power Plan that was supposed to curb greenhouse emissions from existing coal and natural gas power plants.
Is that by installing those scrubbers in the smokestacks?
Well, there's a whole lot of different ways that states could go about it. My organization was advocating for just greater growth in the renewable world so that we don't necessarily need to install very expensive scrubbers in coal plants, but so that we can just offset coal with clean energy.
Now, what I find impressive is that Boone Electric, which I'm part of Boone Electric at my home, they have now installed a solar, is it called a solar power garden?
Yep.
Now here's an electric company that is trying to generate clean energy with solar power.
Absolutely, yeah. And that brings me back to the point of how to be a good clean energy advocate, because there's several co-ops in Missouri that have made that decision to offer clean energy.
Okay, here's my question on that.
Shoot.
Is that simply a token, or are they actually generating enough electricity that it's making a difference with the solar power?
Well, the co-op is doing their best. It's a pretty small array. It's a 100 kilowatt array. A typical utility-sized solar array would be between 1 and, 10 megawatts, so much, much larger than what Boone Electric is doing. But sometimes it takes a long time to turn a big ship.
Right, so I think it's impressive that they're starting with it, they're doing it.
And the reason they're doing it is because they asked their members what they wanted, and more members said that they wanted clean energy. So, if you really do care about clean energy, ask for it. And that's the way we're going to get this stuff done. You have to speak up. You have to speak to the people who are in the State Capitol building, or even at the Boone Electric. Call them up and say, hey, I want to have more solar power, or I want to have more energy efficiency. And they work for you.
What about wind power?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot going on there these days.
Now, the university has a windmill over by the stadium.
Yep.
Is that generating electricity?
It is. So that windmill is actually used for kind of experimenting purposes. It's not there for financial reasons. They didn't install it to offset a huge amount of electricity. They do it as, they take it down and show people how the windmill works and all kinds of stuff like that.
And I see when I'm driving by, sometimes it's facing in different directions. So it turns according to where the wind is.
It is optimized.
the propellers, what do you call? Are they called propellers? Or are they,
Turbines.
The turbines don't really turn very fast, but I assume they don't have to turn fast to generate electricity.
Yeah, sure, yeah. And you know, that windmill especially it's pretty small. If you were to drive through and see the new windmills that have been installed in Kansas or in Colorado or in Texas, where they have the majority of windmills in the country, they're 100 feet tall. They have 30-foot long blades. They're big, big things.
As far as the average homeowner in our area, would it be more efficient if you wanted to go with clean energy to put up your solar panels, or a combination of solar panels and a windmill, or do we not have enough wind here to really generate electricity?
Yep. So if you are a homeowner and you really care about becoming more clean, the first thing you need to do is get an energy efficiency audit. Figure out how you can make your home more efficient, because the cheapest clean energy is the energy you don't have to burn at all.
I like that. So first of all, improve around leaks,
Absolutely.
insulation. That is helping to reduce the use of energy.
Exactly.
Then number two.
Then in Missouri, solar really on a small scale is the only technology that makes a lot of sense. So
not wind power.
You can do small wind if you really figure out how to do it right, but it's much easier and much more simple to put a solar array on a home than it is to put a windmill up. Windmills require just much more engineering, and sometimes it's hard to tell whether or not they're paying themselves off. So I usually advocate for people to just go find a couple of solar companies and get some quotes where it's a standard technology, you know it's going to work. You know there's federal tax incentives for it.
And how long do the federal tax incentives run the rest of this year and through 2017, or does it end this year?
In 2015, it was approved for another 5 years. So we've got a couple more years of this tax incentive. It's a 30% federal tax incentive for solar.
So whatever it costs you to install solar power, you're going to get 30% of that back as a tax credit.
Exactly.
How long is it going to take you to pay off the investment in solar power with reducing your electric bill?
The million-dollar question. Well, it depends on a bunch of things. Probably the number one thing it depends on is how much your electric rate goes up in the next 5 to 10 years. So if your electric rate is going up at 5% a year, we're talking 5 to 10 year payback. If your electric rate's going up at a lower amount than that, then it's going to be a longer period.
But the thing, it's not going to cost you anything to look into it.
Absolutely.
And get yourself several
Yep.
estimates.
Get some estimates.
And see where you stand on it. If people want more information, Mark, we're out of time. They can contact you at Renew Missouri. How?
RenewMissouri.org. That's the great website. We're on Facebook as well. We've got lots of information for you, and we'd love you to come visit.
Okay, RenewMissouri.org. Mark Walters, thank you so much for coming by. Let's see. Thursday, we've got Joan Stack on from the State Historical Society. Our program directed by Travis McMillen, Reynolds Journalism Institute. Audio, Pat Akers, KBIA. Our floor director is Kaishu Zhao, and our assistant producer and guest coordinator, Uncle James Mauser. Bye-bye.